Hey, we're talking about the story behind Never Tear Us Apart from INXS. Stick around. Hi, welcome to the Gen X Reference Desk. I was standing, you were there, two worlds collided, and they could never tear us apart. So our story takes place in 1979 at the Bombay Rock venue in Melbourne, Australia. Michelle Bennett is there. She's 16 years old, and she says she's watching like some type of model gig. She realizes that she feels like somebody behind her is like lasered in on her and like intently looking at her. She turns around and she recognizes the guy she's seen before. He's with a band. He's a lead singer of a band. He comes over and he introduces himself as Michael Hutchence. Nothing happens at that time. They later catch up back in Melbourne. This time he's performing on stage. She says the entire time that he's performing, his eyes never leave her, that wherever he is, he's watching her. And as we all know, Michael Hutchence had like intent laser look, and whoever he focused in on, that was his look. What I wouldn't have given to been on the receiving end of his look. Now, the people who know Michael and Michelle, they often say that Michelle is the female version of Michael, that she has this hair, she has a smile, this charisma. They were a beautiful couple together. People refer to them as like their first love, true love, a beautiful relationship, soulmates, the woman that he would have married, the woman that he would have gone back to at some point. INXS is building their fan base. They're moving all across Australia. They're starting to go overseas. Things are on the move for them. I think about Michael Hutchence. One thing that always sticks with me is how people always talk about what he was on stage versus how he was not on stage. Those two very different people, that he's very charismatic on stage, but off stage, he's very shy. And I think she got that about him, that she understood who he was. They say she had a way of grounding Michael, of calling him out on his crap. But that as Michael in INXS is growing, that it's almost like those two personalities are going to split. But one thing that everybody says about Michael is that he was a born rock star. He was the whole package. Yeah, we know. The trajectory of where he's about to be as a rock star just continues to grow. But yet the relationship with Michelle is just also, there's more space between him and Michelle. They're off and on and off and on. And at some point in 1986 or 7, he calls it off with Michelle, and she is heartbroken. He feels she is holding him back. He can't be the full person that he needs to be, this rock star image that he's about to become. She walks a very different moral line than he does. He's more hedonistic than she is, and they just can't stay together. And that is where the song comes from. Now, Michael's later asked about who the song is about, and he says it's about a girl named Michelle, and that I can't write fake love songs. I write what I know about. He's moved on to other relationships. They are still connected. She's still involved in his life. Even though he has other relationships, they're still connected. She produces videos for INXS, U2, Prince, and other bands. He still seeks advice from her, comfort from her. That never ends. Let us move forward to
November 22nd, 1997.
Michael has now been in a relationship with Paula Yates. And if you're not familiar with Paula Yates, go back several videos. I talk about her. But she was divorcing from Bob Geldof, who was created Live Aid, and it was basically a saint. And Paula was painted as the terrible woman. Michael's involved with her. They have a child together. He's wanting her to come to Australia for the holidays in November. She's still separating from Bob. It's a whole big mess. And Michael is distraught about what's happening because she can't make it there until later in December. He's in the hotel. He's at the Ritz-Carlton. He's making many calls throughout the night. At 9:54 a.m., he calls Michelle. She says he's distraught, he's inconsolable, and he says, I need you. She says, I'm on my way, and she gets to the hotel around 25 minutes later. She gets up to the door. She knocks on the door. She puts her ear to the door. She doesn't hear anything. And she looks down and she sees that there's a note that he's slidden underneath the door that says he's going to try to go to sleep. He will reach out to her later. She writes a note back on the door and she slides it underneath the door where Michael's body was. And that's the sadness about this song, is that I truly think that they had a very special bond that lasted beyond, and that in the last minutes of his life, she's the one that he reaches out to, and she's the last person he speaks to. That there's this door. She's here trying to get to him, and we all know where he is on the other side. And that is the story about Michael Hutchence and Michelle Bennett. Today, Michelle is a successful producer. She rarely speaks about Michael. You can hear her talk about her experience with Michael on the documentary Mystify, and also in the band's autobiography. I would love to hear from you, your memories about Michael and INXS. Please hit me up in the comments, and we will talk soon.